I see you again. When I see you again.
I think we have P9. Very good race, Jules. Finally, 11 points.
When I see you again.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Jules Bianchi Tribute Career mode, and in this episode we head off to what was Jules Bianchi's last ever race, and where he suffered that horrific accident resulting in his eventual death earlier this year, and that is Suzuka, Japan. Let's hope for some better weather than what we had in the real life for this race.
We're at the classic and much-loved Suzuka circuit for today's race. This fabulous track has been the scene of some of Formula One's greatest Grand Prix, and we're hoping today is going to be another one of them. Let's look at the grid order for today's race while the cars make their final preparations.
Starting from 20th place today, I'm not very happy about that. It looks like Kobayashi was a little bit inspired by the home fans there. This is what the top 10 looks like. Wow, Rosberg's in third place, Hamilton's on pole, Massa's in second. That is very interesting. Here we are on the grid for to start today's race. For the strategy wise, we're going to stay with the option tyres, I think. I was contemplating going onto the primes actually for this stint, but then once again I decided I want to be on the same level playing field as everyone else on the grid. So without further ado, let us begin the race. Here we are for the start of the Japanese Grand Prix. We've got 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we are away in Suzuka. We've got a pretty good start off the grid. We're going to go side by side with Gutierrez. Kobayashi's had a bit of a poor start in front of us, so we've now gone past the Caterham, going down the inside of the Sauber as well, and also going down the inside of several cars into the second part of turn number 1, or actually that's turn 2 there. But we're going to have to stick behind a couple of cars. This is quite a narrow sweeping section. Obviously there's not enough room to overtake on the outside or even the inside in some cases, because they're all on the racing line. We've taken Daniil Kvyat out for 14th. We're going to go on the inside of Jenson Button into 13th. I don't understand why Button is so far down the field. He may have had a poor qualifying or something. I didn't pick up on that earlier prior to the race starting. But anyway, we're going to go side by side with Grosjean going into the Degner curves. Very nearly going off the circuit there. Having a very good ding-dong battle with the Lotus. Again, very nearly going off the circuit at the second part of the Degner section. As we come up towards the hairpin, we very nearly lose it and go into the front back of Sergio Perez there. That was quite lucky. This is actually on board with Grosjean, with the us having a good battle with him through the Degner section. As you can see, we're very close to hitting each other there on the exit of the second Degner curve. And then you'll notice from on board Grosjean, look how out of control I was going into the hairpin and very nearly hitting the back of Perez. We've now cut to the exit of the very famous spoon curve. We're coming up on down the inside of Sergio Perez, but there's not enough room as we head up towards the very fast 130R corner, coming in at over 200 miles an hour. We've taken it in 8th gear, and it looks like we're going to go down the inside into the very chicane, very nearly misjudging it there and hitting the back of Raikkonen. We've made up 2 places there and getting past Verne and also Perez. But you'll notice Jean-Eric Verne's going to have a go at us going onto the main straight and into turn 1. As you can see the Toro Rosso in our rear view mirrors coming down the inside there. You can see the Toro Rosso's on our right hand side. We go off the circuit a little bit, but then we are able to hold it round the outside, read past the Toro Rosso, just about keep it on the circuit there and retake 10th place. And this is on board Verne. This is him trying to make the move back on us. As you can see, he's got a very good drive off the corner and very good slipstream off the Marussia, but then he just slows down a little bit going into the second part of the corner. I don't know what happened there. Maybe it's just that I managed to overtake him. Anyways, we're now halfway through lap 2. We're right behind the Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen. We're going to go for a dive on both Raikkonen and the McLaren of Kevin Magnussen into the hairpin. We've gone wide on the exit though, and look at this. Kimi Raikkonen's managed to retake the position back from us. He's also passed Magnussen in the process, so he's actually net gained 1 position by re-overtaking us. Now we're right behind the Ferrari as we head up onto the straight prior to 130. We're going to go for a move going in at over 190 miles an hour through the 130R corner. We've managed to make the move stick. I don't know what happened to Raikkonen. There's a yellow flag as well that's taken place as we head into the chicane. It's got constantly changing to yellow and then back to green. I don't know what's actually happened behind us. We're going to actually go back to the replay, and this is actually on board Magnussen. This is how he lost 2 places from both us and Raikkonen into the hairpin. Raikkonen taking advantage of us going wide there. This is us overtaking Raikkonen, going around the inside of into 130R. He makes a little bit of contact with someone, and it turns out it was with Magnussen. Magnussen then hits the wall, loses his front wing, then hits another car. I think that's a Force India, and someone else also gets involved. I don't know who that is. I think that's the other McLaren. This is on board with the Toro Rosso. I think this is Kvyat, and this is as the incident's taking place in front of us. As you can see there, he runs into the McLaren, and Jenson Button, who's just ahead of Kvyat, he sees his teammate spin around, but he also makes contact with Magnussen, so he's very lucky not to have lost his front wing. It would have been an absolute disaster for McLaren. We're now back on the live feed. We're 1 lap later, just behind the other Ferrari, Fernando Alonso. We're going down the inside into the hairpin and take 7th place. It's a much easier pass compared with the previous lap, and we've managed to get the job done. Then 1 lap later, we're right behind the Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo. We're going to try and do the same move as we did previously. Going down the inside, having a look down the inside of Vettel as well, but Vettel's able to hold his position round the outside and maintain his 5th place. We're now up to 6th. This is on board Ricciardo, and seeing from his perspective how we overtook him. As you can see, us going down the inside just there. We're having a look down the inside of Vettel, but Vettel gets much better drive on the outside. We're now cut to the final sector of this lap, and Ricciardo's actually trying to go for a move on us down into 130R. We're actually going to have to go leave a bit of room on the outside. I've actually gone off the circuit there in order to avoid any possible contact with Red Bull. This is actually on board with Ricciardo. He got very good drive of the corner, and using the slipstream of us, he tried to stick his nose down the inside, but we were able to hold position. We're now cut to lap number 5. We're right behind Sebastian Vettel. Can we make another move stick down the inside into the hairpin? We're going for it down the inside. I think we might possibly made the move stick. No, Vettel's still there. We've made a little bit of contact, and Vettel's managed to repass us on the exit of the corner, so we're going to have to try somewhere else to overtake him. We're heading up to the spoon curve. We're going to try and go down the inside into the spoon, and we have done. I think we've made a little bit of contact as we've gone across off the circuit. As you can see, we did get a warning for a collision with Vettel. I think we're also struggling with tyres, as it is our pit stop window, and as you can see down near the bottom of the screen, Ricciardo's going to get right close to us again, because he's managed to overtake Vettel as well as we go down into 130R. You can see that was the front wing of Ricciardo up the inside into 130R. So once again, we had to go wide into 130R and compromise our exit. We've also made a right mess of the chicane as we head into the pits for our pit stop. Let's hope that hasn't cost us too much time. Let's see what happens. Well, it looks like my mistake on the final chicane has cost me, as we've dropped 2 places behind Alonso once again, so that is not good for us. We most likely lost position to Ricciardo as well once he makes his pit stop. He carried on for 1 more lap, but as you can see here, we've managed to get to grips with the new tyres straight away, and we're going to go right around the outside of Alonso. Going into the 2nd corner, we've automatically repassed the Ferrari. We're now going to go after Sebastian Vettel and try and make up the ground that we just lost to both the Red Bull and to the Ferrari. As you can see, we go right around the outside prior to Dunlop curve. As we can see, we're going to go back to the replay. This is actually the lap of our pit stop. This is on board with Vettel. We're going to see what actually transpired from a different perspective. As you can see, Vettel is right with us, and then this is on board. This is on another angle of the replay when we overtook Vettel through the spoon curve. This is on board Ricciardo. As you can see, he was much closer to us going down the inside into 130R, but we were able just to hold the position just this time around. We're now back on the live feed. We've caught up to the back of Felipe Massa, still on the outlap after our pit stop. We've gone very easily down the inside of the hairpin. We've understeered wide though, and he could possibly get down the inside. No, he doesn't. He stays behind us, and we maintain 7th place. This is a replay on board. As you can see here, that was a good opportunity for Massa to repass us there, but I think it's because of the fact that he's struggling on new tyres. As you can see, we've started lap number 7. That is Ricciardo in front of us. He did manage to jump us in the pits. That's proven that my mistake in the last chicane did cost me, but we're going to go down, trying to forcefully go down the inside through the S curves, and we managed to do so. And this is on board Ricardo once again. I think we made a little bit of contact with the Australian, but we've managed to get ourselves through. We're now on one lap later. We've caught up to the back of the Williams of Valtteri Bottas. This is for the last podium position here. We're right with him through the S corners. Now we're going to do a similar move to what we've done on both Red Bulls. Going to go right around the outside prior to Dunlop curve, which we have done. We're up into the podium positions. That is very crucial for us and our possible championship fight. This is on board with Bottas, obviously on the TV camera, as what I think it is. But that was just another angle of our fight. As you can see, we started lap number 9. We are just over 12 seconds behind Hamilton, so I don't think the race win is going to be on for us today. But we've made a mistake going into the first corner, gone wide, and Bottas is still quite close to us. He was only 7/10 behind us as we crossed the line, but he was unable to take advantage of that. This is on board Bottas. As you can see, we went incredibly wide out of the corner, and in my opinion, we were very lucky not to lose position. Anyways, we've cut to the midway, or towards the end of lap number 9. You can notice something quite interesting. Rosberg is now down to second, and there's 21 runners. Has Rosberg retired from the race? Let's just find out. We're going to go through the spoon curve now. We're going to go up onto the straight. Yes, he has retired. So we're up to second, but that's giving us 3 more points. So that gives Hamilton an extra 7 because of the fact that because of the points difference between the first and second place being 7 points, as opposed to the difference between second and third place, which is 3 points. So Hamilton, in theory, has net gained on us. We've made another mistake going into turn 1, and Bottas is once again very close to us as we headed into turn 1 and 2. We've now cut to the start of lap number 11. Hamilton is still massively up the road. We've managed to pull up a bit of a gap over Bottas, so we should be okay for the rest of this race to ensure the second place. I think the second place is the best we can hope for with 2 laps remaining, unless Hamilton has a problem. But no, he doesn't. He actually wins the race today. We're coming through the final chicane. We're going to take a second place here, but it looks like our championship has really taken chances of taking a massive hit, with Hamilton winning the race and us finishing in second, losing 7 more points.
Lewis Hamilton has won today's race with an absolutely sublime drive. He looked very comfortable in his Mercedes this weekend, and it's rewarded him with 25 points.
So, confirmation of the Japanese Grand Prix results. Lewis Hamilton wins the race, Jules Bianchi in second, Bottas taking a fantastic third place, Vettel in fourth, Massa in fifth, Raikkonen in sixth, Alonso seventh, Daniel Ricciardo finishing down in eighth. Looks like he got a time penalty there, so he dropped himself all the way down from fourth down to eighth. Sergio Perez in ninth, good result for Force India, and Jenson Button taking the final point in 10th place. Let's have a look and see what the rest of the standings look like. Yep, Magnussen all the way down in last. I'm not 100% not surprised by that after his incident. Rosberg the only retirement, and Chilton finishing all the way up in 16th. Good performance by the British driver there. But anyways, now let's cut to what the Drivers' Championship looks like. And as you can see there, Hamilton has extended the gap to us to 54 points. He's now more than 2 race wins ahead of us with 4 rounds remaining. I just nearly lost count as to how many rounds we've still got. Bottas moves in front of Sebastian Vettel following his podium finish today. And Perez moves into the top 12 thanks to his point scoring finish for Force India. We're now going to cut to the Constructors' Championship. And as you can see there, Marussia had moved just ahead of Red Bull into second place, following our second place finish today, and Vettel and Ricciardo finishing down in 4th and 8th. That is fantastic for the Marussia team. Obviously, that is the best result that we can obtain the rest of this championship, with Mercedes already pretty much wrapping up the constructors. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video today. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next race, which is officially the last European race of the season. That is the Russian Grand Prix, a new track on this on the F1 calendar in the 2014 season. And so until then, see you later.